Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Christians celebrate Good Friday. Low pressure system upgraded to tropical disturbance. And an average of 2 meningococcal cases recorded per week since February.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Christians around the country today mark Good Friday with subdued church services throughout the day to commemorate the death of Jesus Christ at Calvary. They performed solemn hymns, prayers of thanksgiving, drama, and gave spiritual messages on Christ's suffering for us. Kelly Vadala reports.
Jesus Christ was God's perfect sinless substitute who bore the punishment on behalf of the sinful human race. This has been termed as victory of good over evil, and since then the day has been celebrated by many.
If Jesus had not died on the cross, we would still be lost. Jesus died on the cross to redeem us. God was committed to save mankind, so he sent his son Jesus Christ to die on the cross. For whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Put more emphasis on Easter because that's when we receive our salvation and freedom from the penalty of sin.
Calvary Temple pastor Eneri Motu says the day was about sharing the greatest love ever shown by Jesus Christ with all Fijians.
We have to be reminded, especially in the Christian faith, that salvation was free, but it was never cheap because it cost the Son of God his life to die on the cross of Calvary to pay the price and the penalty of our sins.
While many celebrated this holiday in their own ways, Christian followers shared their views on what Easter is all about.
Simply shows how much God had loved me and sacrificed his only son, Jesus Christ.
Jesus loves you so much. He loves you and me this morning, and he died on the cross because of that love.
It means for me to have a better life.
Children, on the other hand, say Easter is a time of unity, love, and kindness.
He died so that I can live. Jesus Christ is my Savior.
Every races, every one of us, his love never differentiates anybody.
He died on the cross for our sins to save us.
Today, hundreds of Christians around the country commemorate the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. This day is observed with humility and reverence, remembering the passion and sacrifice the Christ made for us in order to live. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Christians across Fiji have joined their fellow Fijians to commemorate the death and crucifixion of Jesus Christ and celebrate the hope, joy and deliverance of his resurrection. In Fiji, Christians recognize both Good Friday, the day of Jesus' crucifixion, and Easter Sunday, the day of the miraculous resurrection. In his Easter message, Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama said it is the Fijian way to appreciate and openly share the celebrations of all faiths, because as Fijians, we are bonded by a national identity that has guided our progress as a nation. Bainimarama says in the Christian faith, Easter Sunday is the turning point, an event that freed mankind from sin, created new life and new purpose, and returned the world to goodness and truth. He says that it is a message that holds special significance as we have embarked on a new path for a new Fiji. The low-pressure system to the west of Fiji has intensified and it has been upgraded into a tropical disturbance. Fiji Met Services Director Ravin Kumar confirms TD12F was located about 600 kilometres west of Nadi at midday today. Pranita Prakash reports.
Tropical disturbance 12F is expected to further intensify into a tropical depression in the next 12 to 24 hours and move closer to Fiji.
On its current track, it is expected to track south of Fiji group this weekend. The chances of TD12 developing into a tropical cyclone over the next 72 hours is moderate to high.
Ravin Kumar is urging Fijians to take heed of the weather updates.
Take warnings and advisories from relevant authorities seriously and remain prepared at all times. Furthermore, all communities living in the flood-prone and low-lying areas are advised to take all necessary precautions. And similarly, for those living in landslide-prone areas.
Earlier today, a few areas in Raki were flooded due to continuous heavy rainfall from last night into the morning.
The areas which were flooded in the daytime was near LTA, Rewasa, Galau, and in town, Nangoro, FSC roads. There are few other roads which is also flooded, but at the moment, only Reki town, the water is going down. And Nangoro is still flooded, which is the main road access which is connected to the town.
The system is also expected to bring in more rain and strong winds over Fiji, in particular northern Vanuatu, Yasawa and Mamanuca group, western and northern Viti Levu, Lomai Viti group, Kandavu and nearby smaller islands. A flood and heavy rain warning remains in force for certain parts of the country. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Health Ministry has recorded a total of 38 meningococcal cases as of yesterday. Of these, 20 cases are lab confirmed and 18 suspected based on clinical signs and symptoms or links to another case. Ritika Pratap reports.
The ministry says there has been an average of 2 cases per week in the last 4 weeks. Of the 38 cases, there were 6 from Navasau Adventist School in Tailevu. The ministry says 2 of the cases from this week were diagnosed and transferred to the hospital following a visit by the team from the Nayavu Health Center to the school. The ministry has clarified none of the 2018 deaths have been from the Navasau Adventist School. Teams from the ministry have made daily visits to the school since the first case was reported from here. The ministry says they have also administered preventative antibiotics to all students and teachers. Meanwhile, the ministry has released the revised meningococcal disease public health management guideline to all medical practitioners. This is to ensure they have access to the latest information and guideline for the clinical management of patients and the public health response in communities during this outbreak.
The task force has developed guidelines which will be rolled out with training all across Fiji in the coming 2 weeks. And this training will include our GPs, our private GPs, because we recognize that the GPs are also a very important part of the health system, even though they may not always be involved in the decision-making within Ministry of Health.
Appropriate antibiotics are also now accessible in health subdivisions. The ministry says they are aware private pharmacies have brought in vaccines. They are clarifying that only vaccines for meningococcal C will be effective in preventing a person from getting meningococcal C during this outbreak. People are being urged to check multiple pharmacies before purchasing these vaccines as they are expensive. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Still to come, Northern youths get first-hand information on Yes program. And elections officials contract signing deadline extension. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti kami nasong buti ko lang, ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoi Viti.
Kaya ko silil tali, nagurara may naomani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti na ponga ni BNN.
The Republic of the Fiji Military Forces Commander Rear Admiral William Meningococcal has reiterated they have a zero-tolerance policy on violence against women and children. This follows as the military police is investigating the alleged rape of a female soldier. Rear Admiral Meningococcal says the alleged offence is serious and will be dealt with accordingly. The soldiers who were allegedly involved have been taken in for questioning and remain in custody. Investigations continues. A total of 223 traffic infringement notices were given to drivers in the last 24 hours. These include 98 cases of speeding, 11 of drink and driving, 8 for not wearing seatbelts, and there were 102 other offences. Police Acting Deputy Commissioner ACP Rusiate Tunravu says officers will remain out on the road to ensure the safety of road users during this long weekend.
provide in his additional manpower to boost our footprint on the ground, the visibility, and also the vehicles that are coming in now. You'll see a lot of movements of police officers in busy commercial sites, business sites, and also in our main highways. Our highway department and our traffic will be working hard on that in this long weekend.
The deadline for the contract signing for elections officials who will be working during the 2018 general election has been extended. Officials who are yet to sign their contracts have until April 7th to do so. Acting Director Strategic Development and Communications Edwin Nund says over 3,200 officials have signed their contracts, but they still have over 4,100 pending contracts. Nunn says successful applicants are being notified via SMS of their assigned venue or contract signing, and they are doing follow-up calls as well.
In the event an election official does not sign their contract by the deadline, another election official from the reserve list will be allocated to the position, which would result in one person missing out on the opportunity to be part of the staffing requirements for the 2018 general election.
The first public consultation on the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme for the Northern Division was held at the USP Lambasa campus yesterday. The YES program gives grants to young and budding entrepreneurs who have innovative ideas which banks are not willing to support. Eleanor Rangaiviu reports.
The Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme started in 2017 and intends to promote and harness the talents of young entrepreneurs to become job creators rather than job seekers.
One of the obstacles, one of the major obstacles that a lot of kids actually face is the fact that they may have some very creative, very innovative ideas, but we find that once you leave university, those ideas don't actually come into fruition because there's a cost attached to you developing your idea. So when we came up with this, it was really to assist all of you.
Speaking to University of the South Pacific students at the Lambasa campus, Minister for Industry and Trade Fayaz Koya says it's a platform where current and potential entrepreneurs can either grow or start their own businesses for innovation and thinking outside the box.
The program doesn't just give you a grant so that you can facilitate your business, but it actually trains you. So each step of the way, it's a hand-holding exercise.
The scheme is only open to those who hold a certificate or higher from uni and is eligible to those aged 18 to 30.
It's a very good idea for us students who are still in the school system, because we as young youths, we have different ideas, and I believe that with this scheme we can help our ideas being brought out to people.
$2 million was allocated for the YES program in the national budget. Each grant given by the ministry amounts to $20,000. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Up ahead in sports, Sevens players ready for Hong Kong Challenge. And busy calendar for Cricket Fiji. This and more coming up.
Bulavinaka, my name is Letia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tauvenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
The Fiji Airways Sevens team has reached Hong Kong safely. The players went through a recovery session in the evening, followed by a lightweight session and a stretch session at the Hong Kong Sports Institute. Coach Gareth Baber says he is happy that players are recovering well.
Getting over the flu. There's 3 or 4 boys who have been looked after this week seem to have got through it, which is great. We'll have a swim after this as well, which will get us where we need to, and then we start picking training up again tomorrow. Then we go against Hong Kong on Saturday morning, which is a scrag game, which will really give us a boost into the weekend. So I'm pleased with where we are at the moment. I'm glad to see that we're over any sickness that we've had in the camp, and it's good to be here and settled and giving ourselves some focus for the week forward.
The Fiji Sevens players have a huge challenge on their shoulders as they are aiming to become the first team to win the Hong Kong Sevens title back-to-back. National coach Gareth Baber says they have mapped out a game plan to achieve the unexpected. Luciana Tangidakimbao reports.
The Sevens players will need to quickly adjust to the style of playing of their opponents in order to battle through the pool of death.
You plan for them in your own ways, and then when you get on the field, you know, no plan will survive the first 30 seconds of being in battle. So you've got to be able to adjust and react, and I think that Samoa have played well, very well on times in tournaments, and then not so well latter stages of tournament. So we know we're going to get them first up. It was similarly when we went to Sydney this year. They're a good side. They play physical rugby and they love playing against us. They want to get under our skin, and we know that. So we're going to have to enter that tournament right on top of where we need to be.
Fiji has been grouped with Russia, Samoa and New Zealand in Pool A. Gareth Baber is confident with the combination of his players.
We're in a war. The whole HSBC series is a war, and we attack it battle by battle, and the next battle is Hong Kong. We'll go for that. I mean, I made my decisions on the squad based upon what I felt what squad could win a tournament.
The expectations are high for the players to deliver, whether it be winning the Hong Kong Sevens title or claiming the first ever gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. Luciana Tangidakimbao, FBC Sports.
The 6th Pacific Sports Ministers meeting is currently underway in Nadi, which is being hosted by Fiji for the first time. Ministers from 10 Pacific Island countries will be working towards a common goal, which correlates with the theme for this year's meeting, strengthening sports and sustainable development in the Pacific. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The two-day agenda has been set for these sports ministers, which will provide them an opportunity as leaders to highlight areas in sports that need attention in the individual countries.
So we volunteered to have this meeting here in Fiji because that's we see it's important for the Pacific sports minister, and rather than do it every 2 years, while it's still fresh in Vanuatu, we discussed it.
Tuitumbo, who also opened the meeting, says it's important that they share their concerns, best practices and learning experiences during the 2 days.
Because we're having a meeting at Gold Coast, Brisbane for 2 days. And if we can come up with a proposal as a Pacific ministers or the regional ministers as one voice at that meeting, that is the second purpose of the meeting.
During this meeting, we try to look through the case and action plan and adopt it in our Pacific ways, and also it is very important for us as Pacific Island countries, especially in sport. We need to put something together so that we can develop sports in our own ways in Pacific.
The Pacific Sports Ministers will also be making presentations during the 9th Commonwealth Sports Ministers meeting in Gold Coast, Australia next week. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
Cricket Fiji has a busy schedule until next year with 5 international and 5 domestic tournaments lined up. Director Josefa Rika says these tournaments will give the local cricketers an opportunity to take part in a decent competition and further develop their skills. Luciana Tangidakimbao reports.
One of the busiest periods indeed for Cricket Fiji, as they have a lot of events on their calendar.
So 2019 is pretty much the busy period for us internationally. We've got 5 international tours for all our national sides. That's from the under-19s through to women's, men's as well. The 2018 domestic year, though, is going to be the busiest that we've ever had in our history. So we've got 5 domestic tournaments lined up, both here at Central and in the Lau group as well. So there will be a Central League here where the best 4 teams within the Viti level region, including Nandi, will have their running league.
Rika says the Easter competition has given them an opportunity to select players for the upcoming World T20 qualifier, which will be hosted by Fiji for the first time.
Well, this is probably our second step into announcing our squads. We've already had our first trials last week. We got another line of trials lined up for the 3rd, which is next Tuesday, and then the final 3 days of trials are from the 9th to the 11th of April. We plan to announce the national squad on Friday the 13th.
Cricket Fiji hopes to select a team with a mixture of new and experienced players, as they are aiming to play on the world stage. Luciana Tangidakimbao, FBC Sports.
The Raiwanga Basketball Association will use the interlane competition to harness the skills of their players. Official Waise Raivembe says the competition is to prepare teams for the national basketball competition, which will be held next month. More than 5 teams in the Raiwanga corridor are part of the competition. Children under 12 years of age are also part of the basketball clinic.
Represented by clubs, not interlane, but represented by lane, and will be representing Raiwanga. The clubs will be coming and will be a strong team to take part in the national championship.
Fiji Mbati's Meningococcal and Wanga Blake scored a try each for the Penrith Panthers after thumping the North Queensland Cowboys 33-14 in round 4 in the NRL competition. As the countdown for the much-anticipated fight between Anthony Joshua and New Zealand's Joseph Parker begins, both boxers held a public workout ahead of the fight with massive interest from the public. Cloudy conditions with rain and thunderstorms was experienced over the Fiji group. Tropical disturbance 12F lies just west of the Fiji group. An active trough associated with TD12F affects Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Fiji, and extends further east over to Tonga, Niue, and southern Cooks. In the west today, periods of rain, heavy at times, and squally thunderstorms. Eastwards from Pack Harbour to Suva, day was mainly cloudy. Heavy showers this morning, followed by a couple of thunderstorms around the afternoon. And up north, it's mostly cloudy with humid conditions. At sea, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide will be at 6:23 tomorrow morning with a low tide at 12:32 p.m. Sunrise will be at 6:12 a.m. For tomorrow, for land areas of northern Vanua Level, Yasawa and the Mamanuca group, western and northern Viti Level, Lomai Viti group, Kandavu and nearby smaller islands, moderate to fresh northeasterly winds. Winds turning northwesterly and becoming strong with average speeds of 40 kilometers an hour to 50 kilometers an hour and gusting to 65 kilometers an hour from tonight. Elsewhere, it's moderate to fresh northerly winds, gusty at times. And looking further on to Sunday, rain continuing. Strong northwesterly winds 45 to 65 kilometers an hour, gusting to 75 kilometers an hour. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Christians celebrate Good Friday. Low pressure system upgraded to tropical disturbance and an average of 2 meningococcal cases recorded per week since February. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, should buses install cameras for surveillance? Visit our FBC website to answer. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe, stay warm. Good night.
On the radio Fiji 1 and Domoi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kung Meningococcal untuk talita na radio Fiji 1 kena Domoi Viti.
Kaya ako sila tali. Nagurarama ina omani nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela pun nagudurong. Barong na radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti na ponga ni BNN.